going to call this Sublimation 101. Kind of an introduction to it. Okay, you bought yourself either a heat press or maybe a Cricut Easy Press, something like that, or you're doing infusible ink with your Cricut. It's the same type of process. Or you bought yourself a new printer and you've got sublimation ink, so you've got everything to do this, and you want to get into it and you want to practice on some stuff, but you don't want it to be expensive stuff. So I'm going to show you some really cheap things to practice with coming up. Hi, I'm Roger. Welcome to the loft above the shop, and what we're going to talk about here is a little bit of sublimation practice for beginners, or if you're just getting into this and you're not real sure about everything and you don't want to start buying, $20 t-shirts and ruining them because you weren't quite good at this yet. So here's some cheap things to practice with. Go to your local Dollar Tree. They have these little microfiber cloths, 4 of them used to be 4 for $1. Now it's 4 for $1.25. They're 100% polyester, which when you're sublimating on the fabric, that fabric needs to be at the very minimum 60% polyester. The higher the polyester, the better the color you're going to get. So, these are 100% polyester. If you want something bigger, they also have a microfiber drying towel over in their little automotive section. You can get 2 of those for $1.25. These are great to practice on, but you're going to need a graphic. So we're going to head to the computer here. I'm going to show you how to get a graphic set up. Okay, so you're going to need a graphic, and you're going to need a way to maybe resize it or something. So there's a program called Inkscape, which is free. Inkscape.com, or you can get it from the App Store or whatever. I'm on a Windows PC here, so we'll open up Inkscape. And you'll notice it'll come up like this. This is an A4 size document, and you can change that. Get into document properties. Little guy will open up over here. You want US letter. Just click on that and it'll stay there, and that'll be your US letter size right here. 8.5 by 11. Now up here it'll be metric. I changed this to inches because I work most of the time with my graphics in inches. So now I need to bring a picture in here, and I've grabbed one off of the interwebs. So you go down here to import, and of course I need to get it to where it is, which is in downloads, and it's Peppa Pig because my great-granddaughter loves Peppa Pig. So this little thing will come up. You don't need to do anything with that. Just leave everything as it is. Click OK. Now, here it is. Well, that's a little bit big for what we're going to be doing here. So we need to size this down. So we'll put that little padlock on there and lock that. That way things will stay in proportion. So our cloth we're going to be putting this on is roughly 11 by 11. Of course, your paper is only 8.5 inches wide. I don't like going to the extreme, so I'm going to make this 8 inches wide. Of course, that makes it too tall. So we'll take this down to 7 inches wide. So now we're 7 by 10.296. So that'll pretty much fill a sheet of paper. So, okay, where'd the picture go? Well, you got to go find it. We'll scroll over here. We'll go up here, grab him and pull him down over here. Whoop, went too far. Kind of get him centered in the page there a little bit. And you can use your arrow keys on your keyboard to kind of center it a little bit better. So, there's our picture. Now, since we're going to be sublimating this onto a cloth, the image will need to be mirrored. And we're going to do that when I print. And I'll show you how I do that. It could also be done here. You can flip things. But I always do it with my printer. So go here to File, Print, which I'm using an Epson 2720. It's set up for sublimation. That's the most common one that people use. So now I need to go to Preferences. Of course, we want letter size, portrait, Paper type, premium presentation paper matte. High quality, of course, color. And I always turn on print preview so I can take a look at it first. Then you go up here to more options. You want to make sure that high speed is turned off, or you will not get as good of a graphic as you would if the high speed is. If high speed's on, the graphic doesn't come out in there as well. Then I need to mirror the image. So click OK. Click OK. I'll click print. So there it comes up, and as you can see, it's mirrored. All I need to do now is send it to my printer, which I just did. Okay, so the printer just finished printing. There's our graphic. As you can see, it's mirrored, and if you've never done this before, you're going to say, well, those colors are horrible. They're dull, they're washed out. Believe me, it'll change once you put it onto the material. So the next, we're going to go prep this microfiber cloth here. And you'll see there's, if you look at it close, one side's got more fuzzies on it than the other side. That's just the way it is. I mean, these are cheap, but we're going to practice on it, and they're cheap to practice with, so screw one up. It's not a big deal, and you can still use it for a dust cloth. But you'll notice there's a tag on it. You need to cut that tag off, because when you sublimate onto this, that tag will turn brown. So you definitely need to cut the tag off. So I'm going to cut off this tag, and then we're going to go over to the heat press. Okay, time and temperature setting, 385 degrees. We'll be doing this for 60 seconds. One of the first things we need to do, though, is get that cloth prepped. So swing the heat press open here. And I always put a piece of paper down on my press. And you need to look, see which side's the fuzzy side, and put that side up. And I like to press this for just a few seconds. You don't have to have a whole lot of pressure. It just flattens it out, takes the wrinkles out of it. Then I take and also make sure there's no moisture in it that way. Then I take a lint roller, and of course this will put some wrinkles back into it, but if you have any lint on there, you'll end up with purple speckles. So always do that. We'll bring this back, straighten it out. Here's a graphic. Put it in place. Then you'll need a couple pieces of heat tape to keep this from shifting, because if it shifts, you'll end up with what they call ghosting. You don't need a whole lot, just enough to hold it in place. And you can either use parchment paper or butcher paper. Lay a sheet on top. That protects your plating in case you get ink bleed through. So you always want to have something above and below. And then we'll press this for 60 seconds. This will be hot, so make sure you've got some heat-resistant gloves on. And the paper off of there. So as you can see, not much left on that paper. All the ink transferred just like it should. First, we got a couple spots over where the tape was, but they'll smooth right out. So there's our towel. So there's our finished product right there. And investment, I had a sheet of paper, a little bit of ink, and 1 out of 4 of $1.25 for 4 microfiber towels from Dollar Tree. Good thing to practice with. You can grab graphics off the internet or whatever. Just don't try to sell something like this, because this is a copyrighted image. My great-granddaughter will have this to play with and use, because she likes to dust things and clean things. So it would be good for her to do. It's always cute watching a 2-year-old do that, and she absolutely loves Peppa Pig. So there's some ideas for you to practice in. This wasn't intended to be an all-inclusive, everything you need to know about dye sublimation on everything. We do a lot of different projects here, and I've done quite a few in-depth ones on cutting boards, glass cutting boards, on wood, on ceramic tile. I'll be doing some more here coming up on making custom mouse pads and coasters, that type of things. I've done bar gift sets. I did a video on that. If you want to kind of check into the playlist, you can see some of those things. If you're just getting started into dye sublimation, this is kind of a little miniature tutorial and something you could practice with. It's low cost, so you're not going out and buying some of them expensive polyester pillowcases or t-shirts and ruining them because you did something wrong. This is a good way to practice. So if you got anything out of it, appreciate getting a thumbs up. Always helps the channel. We're always looking for subscribers. Otherwise, I'm Roger in the loft above the shop. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.